Hey guys, what's up? Grayson here, back again with another video. And today I just wanted to do a showcase of all my vintage comics. These are all Marvel. I also have a Hercules one. I don't know if I would really count this as Marvel because Hercules hasn't yet been put into like the Marvel group. I mean, maybe this isn't even the same Hercules. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any correlation to Marvel with this one, but this is Hercules, published by Charlton Classics, or Charlton Group Comics. This is in pretty bad condition. This was given to me by my grandfather. The cover isn't even connected to the pages anymore, so I just keep it in this bag. I never read it. Yeah. And then there's this Avengers 329. This is pretty cool. I have not yet read it, because I just got a lot of these the other day. But yeah, like Cap is announcing like the new lineup of Avengers and whatnot. So yeah, pretty cool. Nice artwork that was done by Ryan Paul. Never really heard of him, but hey. These are really old, these are older comics. This one's in pretty good condition. Yeah, there's this cool ad on the back as well, for the Punisher game. This actually just got a Marvel Legends release with the 2-pack. I actually ordered that. I mean, justifying the $70 price tag was hard, but I don't have a Punisher in my collection yet. And I also thought Nick Fury was cool, so yeah, really nice artwork on this thing. I mean, just beautiful. I really like the vintage comic covers more than the modern ones, typically. I mean, the modern ones are cooler, but there's just something about the vintage ones, the art, material, the color, just all that. Also, I've not read this one yet. What if Captain America were revived today? So in the 1990s. So this isn't even really up to date anymore, but I haven't read this one yet, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, and then there's an ad for Q*bert. Yeah, so pretty cool. I mean, like a lot of these vintage ads or vintage comics, actually, I'll get to that. And when we get to the bottom of the stack with some that I have read. But yeah, so this is pretty cool. Not the best artwork for the cover, but I'm sure it'll be interesting when I read it. There's this. This a lot of these came in a lot. They're mixed. So if you didn't know, Marvel used to have a bunch of ads that you would cut out and send in for whatever it was, which is why there's a piece missing here. I mean, luckily this kind of works, but it's still weird. It still looks weird. So there's this pretty cool artwork. Once again, have not read this. Oh, I forgot to show you guys back. See, this is for something to make money. I don't know. These ads were all about all this stuff, and these ads are scams. Oh yeah, haven't read this yet. I mean, just looking through some of the artwork, that was pretty cool. But this is the final chapter of something this is part 19. Something I have no idea what's even going on. So I might just keep this one for looks. I don't know if I'm all interested in reading it. I mean, a lot of these were all these vintage comics were gifts. from my grandfather for my birthday and Christmas. So I might read it. I mean, I'm very grateful. I love comics. Like you can see in my room. Like I have a bunch of comic figures. And I have a bunch of folk stuff up there. So, sorry about the finger in the camera. I would have set it up on my blanket over there, like I usually do, but I felt like it would have turned out better if I did it like this. But yeah, so this is pretty cool. Haven't read this one yet either. Sorry, I'm just trying to. All right, that's good. Yeah, this is for the Defenders. Now, if that name sounds familiar, that's because there was a Netflix one season show about it. It had Charlie Cox, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. But the Defenders actually used to be Hulk, Nighthawk, I think that's his name, and then I don't know the name of the two other people. But yeah, that was the original like Defenders lineup. They're not a very they're not a super popular team, but I think they're pretty cool. I mean, they have Hulk in it. Like Hulk's a part of it, and I like Hulk, so. Well, fishing models. I mean, some of these old ads from like in these vintage comic books were weird. But yeah, and there's another Defenders. The artwork on this looks pretty cool. I'm excited to read this. Yeah, old comics were really fun. I like old comics. I mean, looking through some of these pages, the artwork is always fun to look at. You know, and if you're wondering why the pages are so like yellowish, like they kind of have that yellow hue, it's because they actually used to use newspaper material, like the same material used as newspaper for comics. That was mainly because comics back then, they're popular, but they were sold at like newsstands and like mom and pop stores, from behind the counter. I mean, I kind of wish they still did that instead of like having to go to I like comic stores. The only problem though is it would just be nice if, like say I'm on a road trip or something, and I want to pick up some new comics to read. It would be nice if I didn't have to just hunt down like a comic book store, and wherever I'm at, I could just go into a store and buy a few from behind the counter. But the Champions. Never heard of this team until I looked at this comic that was given to me. I mean, I'm interested to look into. I mean, it's a pretty like weird like mix because they have Hercules and Black Widow, Angel, don't know who that is, Ghost Rider, and then Iceman. It's a really weird lineup, but could be good. Avengers. This is not like classic Avengers lineup. This has Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Vision, Wasp, and then whoever that is. This is pretty cool. Excited to read this. Have not read this one. Sorry. I'm very grateful for my comics. I promise I read them. This is Spider-Man and Black Widow. It's a Marvel team up. Don't have a whole lot of Spider-Man comics, so this is nice. I always enjoy a good vintage Spider-Man comic. I hear is like modern ones aren't very good. I know Ultimate Spider-Man is supposed to be really good, but I hear the Earth 616 Spider-Man comics are not good as of right now. But I haven't read them, so yeah. I mean, like they used to do some pretty fun team ups, like, and then like the Silver Samurai, who was a Wolverine villain, but this might be his first appearance. I have no idea. Fantastic Four. Have not read this one, but I'm actually pretty interested in reading this one because I don't have very many Fantastic Four comics. I mean, I have a supersized one or like vintage one, but I didn't really count that because I don't. It's just hard to read those big ones. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I have another one, but that was like the one in 2018. That was the first Fantastic Four comic in years. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this one. It's a classic. The Incredible Hulk. I mean, he's fighting a Super Skrull here. So, I mean, that, like, automatically just has me excited to read this. And it's Grey Hulk, which is pretty rare to see. So, yeah, pretty psyched for this. I'm sorry I'm not going more into detail as of right now. I mean, I haven't read these yet, so I can't really speak on what happens for them. Yeah, this one, too. There's that X mark right there, which bothers me, but I don't want to risk like messing this up and, messing with the cover. But yeah, Marvel's TV sensation, because he did have a animated show. Another thing I find so interesting about these older comics is they use so many villains that we just don't hear about today, like the Gardener. I mean, sorry, I thought I heard something. But the Gardener, I mean, who even knows who this guy is? But that's the cool thing. That's another thing. This is more specific to like Hulk comics. He used to fight some really weird like villains. Cause I mean, really, the Hulk, I'd say more back in these days, he's more of an anti-hero. So it was really like he was either fighting other heroes or other villains who we never really saw again. That's the one thing about the Hulk is he doesn't really have any trademark villains besides the Leader and Abomination and Red Hulk. Like a few other ones, but those are like the main three. So he's had a lot of villains he fought in the past in his older comics that we just never like see today. And I have read this one. So this has like Spider-Man and Hulk. It's pretty cool. I really like. It has a lot of interaction, but like there's another guy called Wood God. I have no idea, like, because this is kind of connected to the comic that happened before it, but I don't have that. This is pretty cool. I like this. I like the vintage. I like the cover and everything, and the story's pretty cool. Like, Hulk gets knocked out, but Spider-Man like escapes captivity, and they knock out this guy, or they defeat this guy, and then Spider-Man ends up in space in the end. It's crazy. This one. I do remember reading this one. Very disappointed. It's like, oh, I never noticed that. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that the sticker's connected to the cover, but yeah, so as you can see, on the cover here, it makes it seem like, Hulk and Human Torch are about to fight, But, you got, like, this is why I have to be careful with these, or you had to be careful. Fire meets brute force in the greatest battle-ish yet. So they weren't, like, promising a battle, like, but it's so disappointing. Because obviously it's a pretty one-sided battle. I mean, Hulk's probably going to win that. But still, like, I was pretty excited to read that fight. Never happened. Now, this, like, just to disclaim, these are, like, this replica, I do not actually own. The real things, like the original copies. It's probably a good thing though, because I just want to read them. But nowadays, if you pick these up, and like if you actually get the comic, like an original copy, you're supposed to get it graded and put it in the case and whatnot. A lot of collectors get really like, or like control freak with what you're supposed to do with it, because they're old comics, they're rare. But yeah, so Hulk, number 1, and Hulk 181, first appearance of Wolverine. Pretty good stories, pretty fun, pretty cool. Wolverine is so different in this, like, his first appearance than he is in any modern appearance. Same with Hulk. Well, not completely. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I would definitely recommend trying to pick these, like, if you're a Hulk fan like me, try and pick these up. You can find them in stores or, like, on websites. Pay, like, $4 for them. Because they're reprints, or replica editions. Done by Marvel. So they're pretty easy to find. And then this is another, like, 2-in-1. The Hulk versus the Thing. You know, classic match. Well, another thing about, like, these old fights is they never really wanted to give a definitive winner. Now, they do actually fight in this one, which is nice. The Hulk dominates like he usually does, but there's no definitive winner, but the Hulk is just controls that whole fight. There's this one's okay. I don't really care for the Submariner too much. I'm not really a big fan of aquatic characters like Aquaman. But this is pretty cool. I like this. I really like the artwork here. And then my final one, the Gremlin is in this one. He's pretty cool. He's like the gargoyle, who is actually the first villain the Hulk faces, but gets changed back to normal. And yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I felt like getting these out and going over them, because I think vintage comics are pretty cool. I definitely think they're underappreciated in the comic community nowadays. But I mean, hey, that's my opinion. You don't have to like vintage comics, but I definitely think they're worth picking up at least some about your favorite character, because you can still find them in stores, and like $1 bins and whatnot. And nice thing about vintage comics is you can just pick one up and get right into it, because they're pretty self-contained stories. There's rarely, like nowadays, you have to pick up a whole run to understand the story. But a bunch of these stories were just self-contained. You could read the comic. The one comic was all you needed to understand what was going on. Some of them were interconnected, but a lot of times you could just jump in anywhere, which was the beauty of vintage comics that I do kind of miss. Like, you can just jump in anywhere. You can't do that now, because it just won't make sense. It just won't make sense. But yeah, it's a pretty nice stack. Yeah, if you would like, I do have a bunch of DC comics as well that I could go over. Sorry. These are a lot of number ones. Like, these are like modern day DC comics that my granddad also gave to me from the Dollar Tree. Because back in Cleveland where he lives, you can get DC comics from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, which is pretty good deal. The only problem is a lot of them are just number ones, so you can never see the next part of the story, which is annoying. But I wanted to get into DC, and now this is a good chance to do it. Read about some of the characters, and yeah, so let me know down below if you want a video like that. I mean, nobody specifically asked for me to go over my vintage comics. I just wanted to, because I think they're pretty neat. I think they're pretty awesome, pretty dope. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. or night, whenever you're watching this. Have a Merry Christmas. If I don't upload tomorrow on Christmas Eve. Peace out.